something in my mind freezes up from time to time. Come on, babe, let's kiss this thing goodbye. Feelings that cut you, it's feelings.
Well, if that's not got you in the mood for the return of live music, I don't think anything will. Scottish rock band Amitri, they're back with a new top 5 album and a UK tour. And they're promising all their hits, including Nothing Ever Happens, Always the Last to Know, and Roll to Me, and new songs from their first album in almost 20 years, Fatal Mistakes. So founder Justin Currie, vocals and bass, and longtime guitarist Iain Harvie on guitar are joining me to tell us all about it. Hey, Justin, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Graham?
Oh, I'm absolutely fantastic. And do you know what? I've got some really good news. We've been waiting for somebody else to join us, and he's here. So let's bring him in. I've got Iain. Hi, Iain.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Graham?
Absolutely fantastic. And do you know what? It's just so great to actually see some musicians who are actually rehearsing for another live gig. We've been too long, hasn't it?
It's been far too long.
And the sort of it's the sort of the struggle that we're having in the rehearsal room are very good evidence of,
Yeah,
of
rusty,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I were actually just before we started filming, I was talking to Justin, and I said, Justin, you feel like you're starting again?
Yeah, completely. I mean, there's muscle memory from all those songs you played thousands of times in days of yore, but yeah, playing new things and figuring out how you do all that again it is a bit like starting again. It's quite terrifying.
Well, I'm sure. Hey, listen, you've had a lot of experience in the past. I mean, we've just been looking. Is it about 40 years since the band was formed?
Yeah.
But I think it was about 3 years since you last played live, and 20 years since the last album. What have you both been doing?
All kinds of things. Well, Justin, many solo records have you put out, Justin?
Yeah, 4 solo records, and I did a bit of stuff in the Zeros with a mob called No Strings Attached, which was like a fiddle band with a brass section. I did a bit of that, and then I did some touring with a big band, which was a bit of a laugh, doing some jazz standards and some Amitri songs. Yeah, and a couple of American tours, but with a lot of downtime in between, I must say.
Yeah, but do you know what? It's just great to know that you guys are back. I mean, we just name checked some of the big songs that you've done. One of my favourites, Nothing Ever Happens. Absolutely love that track. But you've got a brand new album out, so we can show people that as well. So this is the new album. So. And I think obviously the challenge was making this during lockdown. Can you tell us about that?
So we recorded it immediately in the run up to lockdown. So I mean we had to mix it remotely in the kind of height of last summer's lockdown, which was a bit of a challenge. And then trying to sort of figure out, get the release sorted and. Just doing interviews and all the radio stuff and the promo stuff, that was all done on Zoom, all this kind of remote stuff. So that it was a bit of a struggle for old guys like us. We're not used to this sort of technology. We like just sort of sitting in a room with a cup of tea chatting to people.
And am I right in saying, Justin, that you actually finished recording, I think it was on the final day before lockdown in March last year?
Yes, COVID was closing in rapidly and the shelves in this local supermarket were emptying. The woman that was cooking for us was finding it harder and harder to find food to cook for us, and so yeah, we got to the Monday the week before the lockdown came in, and nobody knew what the hell was going on. And then Iain and I had a sort of emergency meeting and decided we probably better get the equipment out, because we had a lot, and we basically had all our gear in that studio, like tons of stuff. So we phoned our crew guy, Brian, in a panic and got all that removed on the Thursday. Then we thought, right, at least our gear's not stuck here. And then we finished the last overdubs sort of midnight Saturday night, fled home on the Sunday, and lockdown started on the Monday. So it was really by the skin of our teeth that we got it all down.
This is your 7th album. And I think straight in at number 5, I mean, how did
It's,
that
it's,
feel?
it's a seventh studio album.
So that makes us feel like a real band. 7 albums.
Well, Iain, the fact is that you came in straight at number 5 and you've been away for nearly 20 years on the album front. I mean, you must have had a few nerves, but I mean, how pleasing was it to actually?
That was absolutely stunning. I mean, we never expected anything like that when we started to make the record. We just thought it would be the few people that, you know, still love the band and still buy concert tickets that would buy it. And no, we got songs played on the radio and it charted, and that was all just fantastic.
But before we just go on to the tour, 20 years. Why does it take nearly 20 years to get an album out of you?
Well, I mean, we didn't operate as Del Amitri from 2002 until 2014 because there wasn't any demand for us to do gigs until sort of after 2012, and then some promoters came sort of back sniffing around. Would we be interested in doing Hammersmith maybe? And that made us think, oh, right, we could do that, and we could make some money, and it might be quite fun. So initially, we just thought, let's just go and play as broad a selection of our catalogue as we can as a kind of reunion thing in 2014. We didn't even think about writing new material. But then when we came back to do it again in 2018, we decided it might be a bit stifling not doing anything new. So at that point, maybe 2016, 2017, we thought, let's try and write some new stuff. And that all went pretty well. So that led to the obvious, oh, well, let's think about making another record.
Yeah, and we're so pleased you have, and I mean, what a great album it is as well. And it just makes us think now, like, you know, we don't want to be waiting 20 years for the next album, Iain. What's going to happen?
Well, that certainly won't be the case. You know, we've kind of realised that this is a really great band to work with, and it's all viable. You know, writing songs in the way that we used to write them is still viable and works great with the musicians that we're working with now. So I think it'll just naturally flow into another record. Recording it was a joy as well. You know, we were kind of, were we sure that we could make a record in the way that we had in the past, that it would still work. And I mean, the recording process was great as well. So we're chomping at the bit.
Fantastic. And so let's move on to the tour then. I mean, you've got all these fantastic dates. Not least of all, you're playing. You've got the London Palladium. Yeah. I mean, we're talking Sinatra territory there, aren't we? You know. Yeah. And then you've got the 3 dates. You've added an extra day for Homecoming, the finale at Glasgow.
Yeah.
So how much are you looking forward to these days? There must be some great dates on this tour that you're looking forward to.
Absolutely. I mean, the Barrowland shows are obvious. We're playing some really interesting other shows in Scotland. We're playing in Oban. Never played in Oban before. Dunoon. Hamilton Town Hall. So there's some really good wee venues that we're doing. Those will be really exciting.
That's right, and we've got the full list of all the dates on the bottom of the screen here as well, so people can see where you're coming, and we'll have those on the website when we push her up there.
I mean, there's a bunch of places we haven't done. I've just noticed in Manchester, Bridgewater Hall. I don't think we've ever played in Manchester, Bridgewater Hall before. We've done the Apollo. We've done a couple of venues in Manchester, Bridgewater Hall.
We've not done that. I did that with my cousin.
Oh, okay.
With a choir.
Oh, okay.
my cousin was doing a charity gig, and he asked me to do a wee set at that. And that's a great venue, the Bridgewater Hall, because it's kind of like a classical music hall. I think that's what it was built for. It sounds really good. It's like a small version of the Birmingham Symphony Hall.
Justin, I do have to ask you, the local gig to me, and it's a venue that's really dear to my heart, is the Sheffield City Hall. Have you got fond memories of playing there?
Yes. Yes.
We haven't played there for a while.
No. We used to do the Octagon. Was that?
We
Sheffield?
did and the Crucible, the Octagon. Is that the same place?
No, it's different. The Octagon. Okay. Yeah. Sheffield City Hall. Oh no, I've done it solo down in the basement in the wee venue. I'm sure we do have fond memories. If only our memories were still functional.
Well, do you know what? That's the other thing. What about a book? We could do with a book. I bet you've got some great anecdotes.
Well, there is a sort of biography written by an Australian man called Charles Rawlings Way, which came out a few years ago, which is quite odd for us because we had to sort of read it to make sure there was nothing that was factually incorrect in it, and we found that a very odd experience. And there's an audiobook version of it as well, which is extremely odd.
Blimey!
Yeah.
I'll have to get hold of that.
Some Scottish actor.
So listen, what I'd like to say to actually both of you, I know that time's precious, and unfortunately I could talk to you.
Time's precious because we have to go and make sure we know the living material for this tour. You're keeping us out there, Soren.
But what I wanted to ask you both is, obviously, Iain, you've got a big fan following, and people have seen you over the years. But I guess this is going to be a new you in terms of what you're bringing to the party. Why should people come and see Del Amitri?
Why should people come and see Del Amitri? Because it's a great band. Why am I supposed to answer that question? Why should people come see Del Amitri? Because we're a damn good band and we've made a really good new album, and it's going to be really exciting for us to play these new songs on stage, and it gives us a new perspective on all the material we wrote all those years ago, which still seems amazingly relevant. That's my take on it.
Yeah, good bit of salesmanship there, Iain.
What message have you got to all the fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's immensely gratifying to, you stick a new album out and you get loads of people on social media going, "Oh, I'm so excited! I love the record," and that's, I mean, as Iain was saying, that's just a constant source of surprise to us that anybody gives a damn anymore. So that's a lovely thing.
And just a final point, I think it's been said before, but let's just revisit this one. I remember that Sinatra said that, we've mentioned him twice in this interview, haven't we? So
why not?
So, yeah, why not? So Sinatra said that he hated singing Strangers in the Night, one of his most popular hits. Now, obviously, your biggest hit is Roll to Me.
Yeah.
Blessing or a Curse, do you still enjoy singing it?
Oh, it's a good laugh to do. It's so fast and short, but it's the trickiest thing for us to play and for me to sing, which seems to be the inevitable thing, that your biggest hit, or for us biggest radio hit, is the thing that's the most challenging to actually get right. And it actually took us until 2014 to do a passable version of it. I mean, we rearranged it so many times in the 90s to try and get it right, because that was a bit of a studio construction, that song. So yes, it's challenging, but we can just about still do it.
And Iain, just finally, from your point of view, you've got a great songbook of fantastic music. What are you looking forward to playing more than anything else? What song on there will give you most pleasure, and why?
To be honest, I'm looking forward to playing the new material. I'm So Scared of Dying or All Hail Blind Love. I mean, really looking forward to taking those out.
Yeah. Listen, like I say, great, and it's lovely to know that you're not just coming back with a new album, you're bringing all the old favourites with you as well. I think people love them. We're just going to show, again, this is the full list of everywhere that you're playing, and we'll just play out with the lovely little video that you've produced to show this as well. So, guys, thank you ever so much for your time.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you on the tour, maybe in Sheffield.
Yeah, brilliant, lovely.
Take care, guys.
Manchester, Bridgewater Hall, yeah.
Look around your world, pretty baby. Is it everything you hoped it'd be? Nothing ever happens. Nothing happens at all. Always the last to know how you're feeling. The last to know. Tell us something in my mind freezes up from time to time. Come on, babe, let's kiss